like an air start for Burntcustard here at the north side. He went ahead and 3 mechs, 1 metal, 1 energy plant, and then that air spot.
Yep, and down by Elodea, we've gone air first as well. So both players going air first. It's slightly unusual for the build. It looks as though Custard is slightly ahead, only very fractionally. So I suspect first we'll probably see out some Fireflies or Hummingbirds to act as the scouts, and then Bomber Harass to take out some form of ground fabricators that do not at this point exist.
Yes, and Custard already planning a vehicle factory after these. You know, I think he's using that kind of standard 2 power plants and then a factory, 2 power plants and a factory type of pattern. You can really set your commander to just do that pattern, and if you then build 1 fabricator every 2 factories you build, you'll actually perfectly kind of balance out your economy usage, or at least energy usage.
So Hummingbird straight from Custard. Of course, that both these players know where the spawns are. They are well accustomed to the map. And Custard getting there straight away. Did he see the Bumblebee? No, he didn't. Elodea getting that clean away. However, he's going to find himself without a target, as is Custard, as he finds that he's air first, so his Bumblebee is going to be sat there. Elodea getting the scout with the Bumblebee, sees nothing. An opportunity to get a little bit of early damage on the commander. A little bit of miss there, because the Hummingbird is now out. That Bumblebee is going to find himself gone. There it goes.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw it, but Elodea lost his first air fabber from that Hummingbird that came down and scouted him out. So he's a little bit behind on that factor, but they do end up with 1 fabber each, so it's not that easy.
Yeah. Plus, Elodea's actually got his second factory up before Burntcustard has. However, I believe 1 less PGen at this point in the game. Custard got a good lot of air harass going on, taking out those fabricators constantly, and in fact forcing ground fabbers, which is going to mean he has an opportunity to use his bumblebees.
Yeah, he's now forced him to the ground, which of course makes the bombers more powerful. He's got his own fabricators, including an air fabber, which I kind of feel like air fabbers are pretty vulnerable, but since he's sort of established a air dominance, I think he's pretty safe to use those guys.
In fact, what is Custard doing over on the other side of the planet? He's sent an air fabber with a Hummingbird to take this expansion just to the west of Elodea over here.
Yeah, I think that's a good move. Like, he can sneak that out and get a bunch of metal extraction going in a place where, at this stage of the game, it's just like not necessarily a priority to go check it out. And you know, you can see he brings his Hummingbirds down here through that lane of travel. So he's gonna fly over that spinner, gets a few shots off. Really, gonna quickly. All of his air is injured, so I think he's gonna lose that pretty quickly. But he does do enough damage that Aventail is down to just a sliver of health.
Yeah. I think I'm looking at the wrong base here. Yes, I was. Getting my colours confused there already. It's going to be imperative for Elodea to get out the spinners with his Ants, Tanks, Aventails, which are all one and the same thing. I should probably point out at this stage.
That's true.
For those who are more new to the game than others,
who aren't up on the name of the Tier 1 tank.
Yes.
I don't know why that would be. So, metal extraction-wise, Burntcustard just a bit ahead. He's 100 metal to 72. Here in a second, it's going to pop to 79 as he finishes this metal extractor. But meanwhile, Burntcustard also pulling ahead. I feel like his unfettered access to that western expansion is giving him a little bit of an advantage over Elodea in terms of income.
Indeed, it definitely must be. And what Custard could do is actually build up a staging post, or commonly referred to as a proxy base, on that little enclave there, and it'll be nicely defended. However, Elodea now bringing in a fabricator over there, going to be able to scout this out and see what's going on, and perhaps raid it as well.
Yeah, he's going down there to get that. He's actually not going to see the north side of that expansion here for a little while as he's gone to get the southernmost one for a while here. And if we take his perspective here using the capability, we can see that he doesn't have any idea that all that stuff's up there. If Burntcustard, however, scouts him out, which he also hasn't seen that fabricator, he can just kind of pop a tower up there and then just make it unpleasant to try to deal with that space.
Yeah. So both players now with a growing number of factories, 4 for Custard and 6 for Elodea, 8 fabbers for Custard, however. But Elodea getting a lot of use out of those hummingbirds, just sort of raiding around the anti-air for Custard, just making sure he doesn't have the bumblebees to take out his ground forces once more. But
yeah, realistically, Burntcustard's way ahead right now. Now he does have a ton of extra income right now, largely based on this western spot, and you can see that Elodea is just going to build one tower, and it's going to take out like a huge pump of those mechs. So that'll be 35 metal per second swing if he's maybe able to hold on to that. Actually,
yeah,
he switched to reclaiming it.
I guess that's probably because he has those air units there, so he doesn't need to destroy it, and they get the early scout. And he's even diverting some of his ground troops there, tanks and infernos, over to defend it while he gets it up. And even on the the other pathway, he's actually taken out 3 of Burntcustard's mechs. He hasn't actually killed the Fabber yet, but he destroyed those 3 as well, setting Custard back just that little bit. Custard now also regrouping his forces in his base. He did have 5 ants and a spinner out on their own, but they've now moved back in and grouped up to be somewhat more of a formidable force against Elodea's sort of single file units, sort of streaming in through the western path there.
Yep, and that fabricator over on the east side also been scouted, so those tanks, Aventails, are going to go ahead and like wipe that guy out. Boy, he's gone, and that's going to really kind of bring the metal per second even up quite a bit. They're now within 5 of each other. Actually, Burntcustard now behind on metal per second for just a moment as Elodea starting to take over both expansions.
And their factory count is actually identical now as well. And Elodea got more mobile units, so if he manages to divide Custard's forces here in his defense, he may be able to create a few holes and even punch into this sort of north expansion to the side of Custard's base here, although Custard has put up that turret with a few walls there, plus a radar going up as well, which is going to give him the advanced warning of any troop movements that may be made by Elodea.
Custard also putting up a pelter to artillery to harass at the kind of spot between their bases. He can actually reach several of those metal extractors with that pelter, but he's only got 1 anti-air, so he could easily get, if he gets noticed at all, of course he'll just get wiped out. And here they come. Pops that Fabber, and he is gone. That pelter is not going to show up again for a while unless he dinks a land fabricator down there. And a sizable force coming in here for Elodea into the base of Burntcustard.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be able to get past that defensive lot there, and even if he swings down to the south just a little bit down this central lane, he may be able to take out that Fabber and those 4 mechs there. However, it doesn't appear as though he's doing that. He's just going to roll straight on in and do a lot of damage here. I suspect he might even take out a factory if he's lucky.
Yeah, advanced vehicle factory being built by Burntcustard, but right at the edge of his base, and he's actually outnumbered on both sides. I think he's really in a bad place here. His mobile unit count is 76 to Elodea's 112, so he has a serious tug-of-war problem going on in his base.
Yeah, definitely. He needs to juggle what his commander can do and then move him over, because he's left Elodea's forces on the western approach, sort of crawling and wondering what on earth is going on, and he's actually fought Elodea back on the east side as well. Elodea just temporarily fought back there to regroup and then come back in, so Custard definitely on the back foot. However, as soon as he gets out this T2 factory, the levelers and shellers will start to rip through those units, and we may even see some vanguards in there as well because of that splash damage with the Uber Cannon they now apparently have.
Yes, Uber Cannon on the Vanguard is what we like to call awesome. And
I
so
think there's
he's kind
another
of
word
cleaned
for it.
up there is a lot of words could be applied, but awesome I think is sufficient. They actually do exactly the same damage as they did before the Uber Cannon change. They just have a different effect. He did hold off the Western Army with his commander's Uber Cannon of his own, and now he's kind of struggling on the east side because there's quite a few. His Aventail basic tank count is, I think, pretty similar, just kind of eyeballing it. But there's a bunch of Infernos in there too. So he has an opportunity to kind of pick those off at range and kite them around.
Looking back at Elodea's base, Custard's managing to get a bit of scouting going on and seeing no T2 factories up, so I guess he's going to see that opportunity of a T2 push and see what he can do. But again, back to this little push into Custard's expansion with all of these Infernos, that's going down. Yep,
and that's he's taken out a huge chunk of this base up here, so he really needs to get his army moving over that direction. He is, in fact, I see a huge movement of army over in that space, and he's putting out one sheller. Now, I'm not sure shellers are the best first thing to push out, but maybe they are. They can take. They do have incredibly good range. And I'm getting a little bit of a few freezes here. It may be because the game is hosted in a different continent, and so internet between here and there may not be perfect. So I've gotten a few freezes, but we can see the push of Elodea into the north side of Burntcustard base.
Yeah, it's crumbling now. There's only 2 Infernos left. They didn't quite manage to take out the vehicle factory. Custard managed to get the surround on them and sort them out pretty quickly. But Elodea has got complete control of the eastern approach, got units streaming in a massive long line. He's actually set up a teleporter in his base. So, and curiously moving units back. So I presume he's going to potentially build a teleporter towards...
There is one on the western side of the base.
Ah, that's where it is. Linked up now, so he's going to have a lot of units diverting actually, which is a really interesting strat. You don't tend to see it too much, and in fact he's moved his commander through. What do you think about that, Meta?
That is quite a bold move. Now, one thing that some of these high-level players realize is that their commander's health is an important resource. He's a powerful fighting unit, and the Uber Cannon that Burntcustard is using to repel some of these basic tanks can really do a lot of damage. But if you then bring your commander in on the offensive, it can make a huge difference. Looking at the economy tab, Burntcustard actually ahead on metal here, but after you subtract like the efficiency level, he's really not able to make use of it right now.
Apparently there's a lot of lag on the stream, but yeah, as you say, that efficiency is sort of falling down. He will need to defend a bit here, but so my attention's getting a little bit inspired by Roncat in TeamSpeak, sort of poking me every so often with messages.
Yeah, he's gonna have me host the next game because we're seeing a lot of lag in the stream based on internet connectivity to Europe. Huge force of Elodea coming in, starting to put the hurt down on the advanced factory of...
In fact, it's gone down now. Gone down completely.
Is it down?
It's down, yeah, and the commander's really cornered by his 3 vehicle factories. Are you behind me a bit?
I think I'm a little bit behind you. Yeah, I can see it now. He's moving back, but his health is down to 50%, and that is quite a problem for him.
I think it was a really good move of Elodea actually to divert all of his forces into one flank while all of Custard's units were on the other side, and in fact Custard was forced into building a lot of AA actually. I'm seeing being produced every so often.
Yeah, I think this is the beginning of the end here. Without he spent a lot on that tier 2 factory, and without it, I think he's going to have a hard time now.
Well, you say that Elodea's commander is in sniping range of the shellers. However, bombers just pull in and take out a few of those. So Elodea's commander is, well, I would say safe, except he does appear to be in Custard's base with it, which kind of counteracts that statement. He has lost his health actually.
He's fortifying up with some walls, which will help keep him safe. So I guess now it looks like he's past that point. Yeah, it's pretty lagged for me. Why don't you keep going over it?
So what's going on at the moment is Elodea's being forced to retreat with his commander due to Scheller. He's actually down to about 40% of his health, equal to that of Custard actually. So the only difference now is that Elodea has a far superior number of units, Custard with half a base, but the commanders are on equal footing. And Elodea now got a small number of units, all and very, very small, only 5 units coming in from the other front, but it's just mopping up the base round to the sort of mid-south of Custard's base there. But Custard getting off a lot of bomber volleys, just managing to sit them directly above the Elodea's commander now, so doing a fair bit of damage, got him down to 30%. Elodea's commander really out of his depth here in the middle of the base. Not enough anti-air from Elodea. The bomber just sat there.
Really a close game here with the bombers doing some work on him and keeping the air force out there. Burntcustard has retreated his commander quite a ways into his base. Very hard to reach at this point.
He's actually coming out the front now again. He's using his cannon, but there's a lot of tanks facing him.
Yeah, he needs to be super careful that he doesn't become the target of those tanks. If they just choose to focus fire him, they can start ignoring the things that are in front of him. But it is worthwhile for him to use his Uber Cannon. It is a huge weapon.
Custard even attempting to get an orbital launcher up on the other side of his base. Not entirely sure what's going on there, but he's putting a lot of build power into it. 4 fabricators, and I think he's heading his commander there to assist it as well. The rest of his base is completely totaled. And getting more so by the second. Elodea's commander setting up some walls in the middle as well, just to add insult to injury. And Elodea still has not scouted the orbital launcher, only just seeing the fabricators, but no launcher.
I don't think the orbital launcher is going to help him that much. I think that he kind of knows that the game is over, and he's just kind of it's a troll build there to say like, well, I can delay the game by flying my commander up to space and then forcing you to build an Avenger to take it down.
Indeed, but yeah, the GGs are called by Custard. Boom goes the comm. Elodea takes this game. And at this point, it's a good point to say, unless it's already been pointed out in the stream chat by the wrong cat, is that he will be giving away PA game keys. Whether that is singular or plural has yet to be determined. I'm not sure, but he will be giving those away in the stream chat. So
yeah, I'm gonna go review the game here because the viewers didn't get to see a lot of what happened, and so obviously now that my game knows what's up, I should be able to go back and see it a little bit better.